lovely people. My name is Mike Usrey, and in today's FM Live episode, I have a very special, extra special, you might even say, guest, because this is not a normal kind of interview that we're going to be doing today. So hopefully you enjoy it. I am very excited because this is an extra special opportunity to catch a rather elusive creature on film. Now, we'll go into a little bit more explanation here just a little bit, but I want to remind you that if you're watching this live, this is a vertical format. Don't worry, we will have a horizontal format tomorrow in 4K. It'll be beautiful. So if you're worried about that, check in tomorrow. We'll have that on our YouTube. Otherwise, if you're live and you have questions about this interview or the car that we'll be talking about, make sure that you post those down in the comments below, and we'll get to those as we can. So, without further ado, I would like to announce and introduce for the first time on camera, Travis Ingram. Travis, hey, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, we got to talk about that blackmail, Mike. You got to get a little better at it. But
So, Travis is our wonderful head of all things social media, advertising, marketing, videography, photography, some other ographies, I'm sure. Geography? I'm not sure. Basically, if you see or hear about Flyin Miata on the interwebs, you probably have Travis to thank for it. He handles and oversees all of that stuff. Now, he normally wouldn't be on an FM Live episode like this because he usually would be the one running the camera. Now, you might be wondering, how is Travis in two places at one time? Because he's holding the camera, right? No. We have an exciting announcement on top of this that he's on film with us today, is that we also have a new hire in our marketing, videography, cameraography, department.
that guy.
And his name is Logan. He'll be on a future episode of our FM Lives. He's shaking his head right now, but just you wait, Logan. So you'll hide for a little bit, but today we're all about Travis. So Travis, I have some questions prepared for you. The audience would like to know about who is Travis. We've heard of Travis. We've seen your work on our website, on our Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, all kinds of stuff. But we want to know, who is Travis Ingram? What does he do here? So I prepared a list of questions for you.
Should I be worried?
I'll go easy. I'll go easy, I promise. I won't hurt you. But we want to talk about Travis Ingram, and then of course, we'll be talking about your NDRF here in just a little bit. So
that's all anybody cares about.
I know. But we'll save that to last. Of course, you know, the pretty bits here. We're just two dudes, so we'll get through the questionnaire
Two
in
dudes in a
short
car.
area.
That's the name of our next YouTube show.
Two dudes in a car.
Two dudes in a car.
Yeah, that could work. So, Travis, let's start off with a couple of softballs here. How long have you been at FM?
6 years, 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
Actually, yeah, it has been that long. Even I don't see him that often, so it's kind of like that elusive, like...
It all blends together after a while. All you
Yeah.
guys look alike. You know all that.
Right.
Just kidding.
So, how did you get to start here at FM? Obviously, you've not been here forever. There are probably some people that may have not even seen you if they visited here in person. How did you get a start here at FM?
That's a good question. It's kind of one of those things where I was just hanging around so much, they kind of offered me a job. I was an art director at an ad agency in town, and when I moved on from that, there wasn't really an opening here, but I was friends with Keith, and I knew Bill and Terry, and they were looking for somebody to help take over some of the marketing and photography and stuff, and I was already doing some photography and stuff for FM, and just kind of fell into it. So it was just being in the right place at the right time, and like I said, I just kind of hung out enough that I think they just felt bad for me and offered me a job.
So, moral of the story is that persistence is key, and if you're annoying, that's a good thing.
Well, sometimes.
Let's move on. What is your favorite thing about the job that you now hold?
Well, that's, I mean, besides you, Mike, I mean, because you guys are awesome. But, I mean, seriously, the cars. I mean, what car guy would say no to being around this stuff all the time?
We do kind of work in a candy shop.
It's so cool to, I mean, besides just being around the cars, I mean, talking to you guys, because we've got, Ethan who's in the race, and we got Keith who knows everything about suspension. Brandon and the R&D guys who know more than I will ever know about that stuff. You guys have all had Miatas. Y'all know more than I do about Miatas, let's be honest. And just being in a place where everybody has that, we just congeal. It just works.
Congeal, that's a good thing. I like that. I've not heard that one used in one of our interviews before. Good job. He's also a man of many interesting words, I will say that.
In other words, I talk too much.
So, speaking of Miatas, how many Miatas have you owned over the years?
This is my third. I had a 1996 M Edition for a while that I threw as much of the FM catalog at as I could afford to. Changed the entire interior from brown to black, because black is better. And then decided it was slow. And got rid of that. Got a few other cars that aren't Miatas. And then got a 99 turbo car. Igor, if you guys know Igor from the old shop days, the car with all the different panels that is mostly lava orange, but not quite lava orange.
And green, and black,
blue,
and blue,
black,
yeah.
And basically did this whole same thing to it. Went through 3 sets of wheels, 2 sets of suspension, swapped the interior from brown to black. You see a theme here?
There's really a formula that you just follow.
Pretty much. But that one at least had a turbo. So it had whooshy noises and power and was so much fun when it worked. But it smelled bad and the AC didn't work right. And we live in the desert of Colorado. So on 102-degree days, nobody wanted to be in it. So,
So you sold it.
to buy this.
And admittedly, the AC in this works great.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't smell funny, or at least,
It smells like leather.
yeah. It's got, well, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But this is the ultimate Miata at the moment for you.
No regrets.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, carrying on with the theme here, what's your favorite Miata generation? ND, yeah, that was an easy one, of course. So, why? Why do you like the ND generation specifically?
Well, the shape mostly. It's modern, but at the same time, that silhouette harkens back to the old 90s JDM cars. I mean, it's just got that same silhouette as like the old 240SXs and a Supra and all the stuff that I grew up with, especially the RF with that just arched back with the kind of pointy nose. I just love the lines of the car. Caught my attention. They're so easy and fun to drive. But I had a bunch of MR2s for a while. And with the RF little pointy notch back on the back deck, it made me think of my MR2s. And since I can't afford to get an MR2 because they've kind of up in price, I get this instead.
Yeah, fair enough. And actually, I was just talking to some folks earlier today that were talking about their NDRF, and they mentioned that, well, if I didn't have this, I'd probably be looking at a Nissan Z or Fairlady, if you wanted something a bit retro, because the styling is pretty similar.
Yeah.
Especially when you kind of look at the silhouette. So I agree. Beautiful cars. So now, what's your least favorite generation?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to get hate for this.
It's okay. They're just opinions. They don't have to hurt.
I have good reasons for it, but since I've had a 96 and a 99 and an ND, I think that I can say for me, the NAs are just not my thing.
Oh,
they're a little too retro. I don't fit in them well.
that was going somewhere different, I thought.
No. I love the NC, dude.
Hey.
That would be my second choice. But as much as I love the styling on the NA and the nostalgia and they're fun to drive, I don't fit in them well. Everyone I've been in has got at least one little quirk. And
they're 30-plus-year-old cars.
It's nice having a newer car that doesn't have the little issues that you have to worry about.
There's that pinky again. I get it. But pop-ups, man. There's no pop-ups.
I've had enough cars in my life with pop-ups, man. It's time to move on.
All right, fair enough. This one is actually kind of a new question that we've been asking some of the folks in our interviews. What would you like to see in the next generation Miata? Obviously, we're maybe a year or two out till the NE or NF or whatever they're going to call it. There's always that weird Fiat fiasco that happens, so I don't know what they're going to do on the VIN. But what would you like to see in the next generation Miata?
That's a good question. More options, more colors, and more power, I think are the answers.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can help with some of that, but it'd be nice to be able to get it without, you know, straight from the factory with some Mazda support too.
Yeah, obviously we don't sell paint, so
Yeah.
that would be a big one that hopefully Mazda can help out with some sports car colors in the next generation, you know?
The blue is nice, the red is nice. I don't hate the other colors, but it's a sports car, guys. It's supposed to be fun. I mean, red and blues and greens and yellows and
Bright.
yeah,
Bright colors.
nobody.
Vivid.
You know, if I was buying a Mercedes, I'd get a black or a gray. If I'm buying a Miata, I want something with some shine to it.
Yeah, fair enough. Any other thoughts on the next gen?
I really haven't thought too much about it. It's one of those things that the more you try to guess, the more wrong you will be, or the more disappointed you will be. So I don't want to get my hopes up about anything specifically. I really hope they keep the RF though. That was the selling point for me for this car. So who knows? I mean, there's talk of electrification and hybrid, whatever you want to call it. And
Right.
the low end torque would be nice, but as long as it doesn't kill the feel. I mean, because Miatas have a feel.
Do we have a question already? Is
No.
it about this? Okay, yeah. Ah. So, question for those that maybe didn't hear, would you pick, or I guess what made you pick the ND versus the soft top? And if you had the chance, would you go to an ND3, because this is an ND2? Again, more on that in a little bit.
Good question. The RF definitely 100% wanted the hardtop. I had a 96, had to replace the roof. Had a 99, had to replace the roof. They're noisy, they're loud, I'm pale and get sunburned obnoxiously easy. So the push button hardtop was a no-brainer for me. So that, and I just love the lines. I mean, the soft top looks great. There's nothing wrong with it. I know some people prefer it, and I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but for me, that just shape and the benefits of having an actual hard roof when you want it was the selling point. What was the second part?
So ND2,
Oh, ND2
would you
versus 3.
prefer ND3 if it were the same options? And
So I will be honest, having driven both of them, my only real envy is the infotainment system. The benefits of working at Flyin Miata is I can change most of the other stuff. The infotainment system's a little harder. I do like the newer screen. It's sharper, it's a little wider, not quite as intrusive to the cabin. Wireless CarPlay is nice, let's be honest. But you know, the rest of the stuff, my car compared to that car feels good, but everything we've done to this car, it feels great. So depending on what you want out of a car, there's nothing wrong with the ND3. If I was buying a new one and had the money, I'd probably go ND3, but I've got no plans to get rid of my ND2. So
they are pretty close, I agree. But my screen turned off.
yeah, don't let anybody see your password.
Even I don't know my password. But, of course, when did you realize that Miata is the answer? Because that's the important question.
Probably when I bought my 99. Like I said, when I had the 96, it had some issues and it was a fun car, but it just didn't scratch that itch for me compared to some of the other cars I've had. But when I bought the 99 and felt a car with all the upgrades and the turbo and everything else, you know, I just kind of fell in love with the chassis and the feel of the car. The problem with a lot of other sports cars, because I've had, you know, Mini Coopers and G35s and MR2s and a 240SX and a bunch of other things, is the bigger they get, the more power they get, the sloppier they feel, you know? And you throw enough money at anything, you can make it great. But the Miata just right out of the box is just tight. It feels like a sports car should. It's fun, it's easy to drive, you can cruise around and relax in it, you can take the top off, you can autocross in it, and drive home with the air conditioning on. It's just a fun car.
Easy, friendly.
Exactly.
I think that's why a lot of people like Miatas. Let's be honest.
And you can make them mean if you want to.
You can. You can. Engine swaps and big turbos are definitely a thing. Okay, so you've mentioned a few of your previous cars that you've had, and they are pretty exciting, or at least some of them are. However, what other cars do you have at home right now
Sure to ask about that.
that aren't this one?
Can I include all vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
That's
I
fair.
don't want to just talk about the Honda. So nothing against Honda fanboys, but I've got a rather beat up Civic that I use as a daily driver that has seen better days, and I've fixed most of the issues. But it was a stopgap between cars that kind of stuck around, and I don't hate it. I just don't like it.
Well, it's okay. It's not a K24 Civic.
No, it's
Right?
slow and boring, and
Yeah, so
it gets 40 miles a gallon.
It's a commuter car. And actually, he's not giving it much credit. He's actually cleaned it up. It looks nice.
It's okay.
It's a pretty nice
People
car
keep
for what
hitting
it
it in
is.
parking lots.
Well,
Yeah.
you take it to Walmart. That's going to happen.
And then I have a motorcycle. Does that count?
Ooh, yeah. Motorcycles are exciting.
Triumph Daytona 600
Hey.
barn find I bought from the previous owner of FM, and basically replaced everything except the engine in it. So it's a fun little bike. My only complaint about the bike is it takes away Miata time. So I get crap for not riding the bike, but if I ride the bike, I get crap for not driving the Miata, so you can't win.
So Travis keeps all of his vehicles very shiny, even the not nice Honda Civic. They're always shinier and cleaner than all of my cars. So his perspective and I guess outlook on how nice a car or vehicle is a little bit skewed.
I used to take cars to car shows, so my level of clean is probably a little more than most.
Remember, we're talking to our media guy, all of our photography and videography stuff. So he's got an eye for aesthetics. It's a good thing.
I'm anal. You can say it.
So, what is your favorite non-Miata, or you could say, what's your dream car that's not a Miata?
Dream car, not a Miata. Noble.
A Noble, like M12 or
I would take any Noble, to be honest.
anything Noble? Okay.
But yeah, I mean the N12s, they're just beautiful, and the fact they're coach made by hand in the UK. Always had a niche for those little mid-engine hatchback. It's not a hatchback, but kind of notchback looking cars with engine in the wrong place and the little stubby nose like my MR2 had. I would love to have one of those, or Lotus. I wouldn't say no to a Lotus either.
That'd be pretty
Maybe
sweet.
Vera.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely, I'm taking a Vera.
Love them.
Fair enough. So, lastly, about you, I recently heard that you're a bit popular in Japan. Apparently, when we go to all the different shows that are, big Miata shows all over the U.S., you always get interviewed by a really nice Japanese gentleman, and they go on for podcasts and videos and stuff. What is it about Travis Ingram that is so popular in Japan?
He's exaggerating a little bit. It happened maybe twice, but I have no clue why anybody would want to talk to me, to be honest. Pale, awkward white guy. Maybe I'm just friendly and easy to talk to. I don't know.
Are they asking you FM questions, or are they talking about they want to whisk you off to Japan for a special racing series, or what is Travis doing that we don't know about?
My secret life is the Stig. No, yeah, no clue. Just right place at the right time.
Oh, okay. Seems a little bit fishy to me.
I don't know why anybody would want to watch me on video. If you're watching this, thank you, because I wouldn't watch it.
So let's do a change of pace, because we've talked a lot about us. Let's talk about the car, because that's what most people want to talk about. Travis is tired of talking about himself. So, Travis, introduce, if you will, your Miata.
Oh, I forgot my prop, didn't I? So, whole story behind this car, for people that don't recognize it, this used to be an FM shop car. Back in the day, we had 3 NDs in the fleet. We had ND, the white V8, Andy, the gray one you see on the left behind us, and the blue one was the last one we got, and we called it Jones. So we had ND Andy Jones, which everybody thought was clever. But when they decided they don't need this car anymore, I swooped it up because I just needed it, and decided Jones didn't fit me as a person. And it went without a name for a little while, but now we call it Stitch, because if you look at the nose, it's got the little squinty eyes, and it's blue, and I'm goofy, but it looks like Stitch. little side mirror ears, and
Yeah, it has the whole persona. Hopefully, hopefully it's a little easier to control than Stitch, though.
yes, that's why I got sticky tires.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So tell us basics about the car. What is it?
It's a 2019 RF. Technically, it's a GTS, but from my understanding, it's not an official GTS. It's just got all the options a GTS should have. Eternal Blue Mica, which I think they only did for 1 year, maybe 2.
Something like that. 2019, maybe 2020.
Yeah, for the Miatas anyway. I know they did them for the CX-5s and some of the CX-9s and some of the other SUVs and things, but this was one of the only years they did this color on the Miata. It is obscenely low miles because I don't drive it enough. Yeah, I mean, I just love it. It sits in my garage more than it should. When it does get out, it's a lot of fun. It's got, I don't even know if I can remember the whole catalog list that's on it, or Koni suspension.
Well, before you get too deep
Yes.
into just rattling it off, let's walk around the car and you can talk about the different things. So we've seen a bit of the front. Obviously, there's some not stock stuff, so you can kind of point out the different things that have been done to it that maybe you did since you've taken ownership of Stitch, and then also maybe some of the stuff that, of course, we did when we had the car.
There's some gray area there. But yeah, so, I mean, just walking around, I mean, the obvious things people notice first are the carbon fiber body pits, which are from Carbon Miata. And we had them laying around the shop, and we had Kyle throw them on literally a month before I knew I was buying the car. So it was just lucky timing for me. It's got a spider grill, which we got lucky on. This was actually a return, I think. One of the tabs is broken on it, but you can't tell. It stays fine. Nothing's wrong with it. So I got that.
I see also some nice smoked.
Our smoked LED
corner
side
lights,
markers
yep.
from us.
And the
It's
side
got,
markers.
The side markers. It's got, yeah, let's just go this way. That way I'm not walking in front of the cameraman. It's got our mega chips.
Chip guards.
Chip guards.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call them splash guards, but
They
they're
prevent
technically
chips.
chip guards.
Yeah.
Which was a must, because if you didn't notice, I got some fat, meaty tires.
She's
sticking
got
out
the
from under there.
meats. Yes.
So those are 235/40 17s on our 17x9 forged wheels with 5mm spacers. So
Sheep thick.
they poke a little bit. And before you ask if they fit and will they fit your car, these fenders have been aggressively rolled and pulled by Kyle. So I think it fits nice, though. It looks good. The forged wheels just are awesome. On Oil Sad, we don't technically have them anymore. It's got our Little Big Brake kit.
I was going to say, I see some sneaky Willwoods underneath those
Which-
spokes.
If you haven't experienced under hard driving, they feel great. The pedal pressure is nice. They're lightweight. They dissipate heat better. They don't fade as bad as the stock brakes. Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun car to drive. The side skirts I put on, again, Carbon Miata. Obviously, little things like our FM lug nuts, FM valve stems, Carbon Miata duckbill, 3-piece. I think that I need the Carbon Miata carbon fiber diffuser to go with this. I've got too many hobbies, and I need, but that would mean selling the motorcycle. So if you want to buy a motorcycle, let me know.
Yeah. Bright yellow, polished with diapers. It's beautiful.
I've got our sequential rear turn signals, some LEDs, the Craven Speed stubby.
Right?
And I think every MX-5 thing's electronic part on the car that we sell.
I don't blame you.
So,
That's some of my favorite mods.
The greatest thing in the world is going to Cars and Coffee and having a bunch of kids sticking their noses in your car and just going. And then they start getting really cautious, like, oh crap, did I touch it? What's going on? And then it does this little transformer thing. And everybody's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when the RF came out, everybody wanted to see, how does the top go down? How does it work? How does it move around? And then especially with it in place, such a cool look. I'm a big fan of the RF.
I love this car.
Yeah.
On the inside, I've got the Spider 3D Max floor mats. I've got a Modiction 16-ounce lowered shift knob, a steering wheel from
Is it Cypher?
Cypher,
Yeah. Those are available at flyinmiata.com.
and a few other little MX-5 thing stuff, like the tail light. I've got the RF delete, airbag light delete, and I'm forgetting something. So.
You have the CAN bus control for the Hush-O-Matic, I believe.
Oh yes,
Yes.
I do have the
Can't
Hush-O-Matic.
see it, but with the wiper stock, you can control the exhaust. Which maybe you should talk about the exhaust.
Yeah, the Hush-O-Matic we sell, if you haven't seen it, as far as I know, it's the only active exhaust for the Miata, and it's got a nice a nice tone to it. It doesn't drone, and you can control it from the wiper stock, like you said, which is the greatest thing in the world because it's not super loud to begin with. But if I'm roaring around the canyons, I want to hear the car, and when I pull into my neighborhood at 11 o'clock at night, I don't want my neighbors to yell at me. So turn it down, feeling quiet. It's that's a nice little party trick.
Yes. And I think mated with that, you have our high flow mid pipe.
Yes.
And then forward to that, I think you have stock exhaust, stock headers.
Stock headers
Yeah.
for now, and stock tune. Thought about going with a flash, but I mean the car feels good. I don't know if it's worth the risk and the money. I've heard it's nice, but I can't pull the trigger on it. Just a lot of money for what it is.
He's very cautious if you haven't picked up on
Yeah.
that yet.
Not a lot going on under the hood. It's mostly stock. I've got a Mishimoto washer tank, and
The people want to see,
well,
Travis.
I got to go push the button.
I
for
know.
that. I can't do that
That's
from the
all
key
right.
fob.
We'll wait for you to pop the hood. Here, I'll even get Stitch for you.
Poor Stitch. Hood lifts. Every car should have hydraulic hood lifts.
That alone was worth popping the hood.
Yeah, a cool little Mishimoto washer tank, our Varus air oil separator, a tiny, tiny anti-gravity battery with the
Oh, goodness.
emergency restart button,
That thing is hidden down in there.
which I think that shaved, what did we say, like 25 pounds off the front of the car.
It's a lot, yeah.
So it's weight savings and functional, and if I don't drive the car for a while, leave the lights on like a moron, I just push the button to restart it. So.
If you're curious about that, we do have a video where Brandon talks about it. We can link that video down in the comments if you want to check that out.
Master cylinder brace from
Right,
Paco.
right.
Yeah, not a lot of bling under the hood. It's mostly so.
It's more important what's out on the outside. No, wait, that's not how the saying goes. Yeah, I think otherwise, we haven't talked about suspension, so maybe you can touch on that for a second.
Yes, I've got our Coney Yellow Sports with FM lowering springs and sways, which, you know, I may eventually upgrade to either the Foxes or the new Coney GTSs. But for now, I mean, this goes good. It feels great. My only complaint is, you know, I wish it was a tiny bit lower, you know, because I'm from that generation where you just slammed everything.
You should have seen his Infinity before he got this car. Thing was low.
That was a mistake. That was too low. But it did look good.
It was pretty cool. So now that you've shown us the car, you've talked about all the mods, what you've done to it, do you have any modifications? Actually, tell us out of these modifications, because there's quite a few actually. What's your favorite mod on this car?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know if I could pick just one. I love the carbon fiber accents because it's unique. I don't see that on these very often. I love the fat, meaty tires. They feel great. I'm not one of those guys that wants my Miata to be super, super twitchy and playful like, you know, some people like. I like the meaty tires. It feels stable. It turns in great. It's very responsive. I don't know. The top mod is really cool. Being able to push up a button and do that. There's also other benefits, like I can actually be driving and raise and lower it without having to be going 2 miles an hour.
Right.
So for livability, that's nice.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
I love that kind of stuff. Things that make the car
I'm a gadget guy.
more yours,
Yeah.
you know, uniquely yours, and then also those little creature comforts and just ease of use make the daily drivability so nice. Yeah, I love that. So on the flip side, are there any of these mods, or maybe mods that you don't see because you've taken them off, that you regretted?
For this car, no. No
You've
real
learned your
regrets.
lessons, huh?
I think that I'm a lot more cautious about throwing mods and money at this car than some of the other cars I've had.
Sure.
I will say that Mishimoto washer tank is tiny. I mean, like itty bitty. If
Yeah.
you go on a road trip, you're in trouble.
But how often are you driving this in the rain, Travis?
Shush.
Never.
So no real regrets at all. I love practically everything about this car.
That's awesome. It is a gorgeous car. I commend you for
I just need to
making
drive
it
it more.
look and be such a nice car. You just need to drive more?
I just need to drive it more.
Yeah, that's fair. So, what future plans do you have for Stitch? Any modifications on the horizon?
I'm still toying with the idea of the flash tune. Headers would be nice before I did that though, just so I can maximize it. And I need some more carbon fiber.
More carbon fiber. You have the fiber fever, huh?
Not as bad as I asked them. My MR2 was mostly carbon fiber, and my insurance company banned me because of it. So I'm not going that far, but it would be nice to have a little more.
Gotcha. So, last question before we move on to some of the comments that have rolled in through the...
We have comments?
Yeah, we do. We have a few. Last question, though, that I have is, how many diapers have been sacrificed to polish this car since you've owned it?
Diapers?
Yeah.
I don't use diapers.
Oh.
I use high quality carbon suede microfiber, blah, 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 expensive wipey things. So.
You should see his chemical shelf at his garage. All of the high-end cleaning chemicals and like stuff that's like so specific. Like this is the cleaning spray for your lug nuts. Like
I don't have lug nut
It's-
spray.
he's got so many bottles. You look at each one of them, they have a name, and you're like, how do you have this many cleaners? I have some Dawn dish soap and some water at my garage.
I'm also a sucker for like smells, obviously. I don't know if you can smell the Starburst that I sprayed on the car before we started this video to wipe it down.
This car smells way better than any of the rest of us, for sure.
So like I don't know if you know Adams Polishes, the plug for Adams Polishes, I guess on accident, but they do limited edition scents every year. And so I like grab the Halloween scent. They've got a coffee scent for cars and coffee for detailing spray, and I'm a sucker for stuff like that. It's just fun. If you're gonna have a car, have fun with it.
So there's the girls that collect candles, and then there's the Travis who collects scented cleaning sprays.
Scented car sprays.
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's worse things to do, I guess.
That's true, that's true. All right, let's move on to the comments that we've gotten since we started talking. What do we have? So let me rephrase that. If you had all the money in the world, what modification would you do to Stitch? And this can even be theoretical, stuff that doesn't even exist.
I'd probably trade it for a Lotus.
Oh no!
No, if we're talking stuff to do to this car, I know that it's okay.
Instructions unclear.
Yes, I know. I broke the rules. I don't know. I'm not really into big flashy body kits and stuff anymore. I love the Rocket Bunny kit, but I don't want to do that to this car because this is my baby and I don't want to drill holes in my car. I don't know. That's a good question. More power would be nice. How about that? We used to do this thing called a V8 swap.
They were pretty awesome in the NDs.
It was a lot of fun.
ND was awesome.
Yeah, that car was a lot of fun.
An RF V8 would be pretty sweet. I could daily that. Yeah.
It just rumbled.
Yeah. What else do we have?
If you had to trade your ND with another car for a day to drive in Canyon, what car would you choose?
If you had to trade your car for a day, what would you choose and why?
Oh, well,
so
let's
I think we already
clarify
answered
here.
this one.
Because I'm not giving the keys to anybody. Nobody else is driving my car. So I'm not trading with anybody because it's my car. But yeah, no, I mean, there's lots of fun cars that I think would be great to go in canyon carving. I mean, besides the Lotus and the Nobles that I was talking about, I mean, any small, fun little, tiny sports car, two-seater would be a lot of fun. I like small cars. So I think the G35 was the biggest car I've ever owned. And
That was much larger than
I got rid of that because it felt too big. It felt fat.
It was only the two-door, but like,
Still was
still
fat.
a big car. Yeah.
It was a nice car.
Yeah.
Nice car, but it was fat. I'm fat shaming my own car.
I mean, I've got two huge American, well, Australian? American? I don't know what you call them. They're Holdens, so I guess you take that for what that's worth. So I get it. Big cars are comfy sometimes.
That's true.
They have their purpose.
That's true. Great on the interstate.
Any other questions? We do. Excellent. See, Travis? I told you.
So we have somebody in the comments who's thinking about selling his S2000 and ND2 Miata. Just curious, do you driven an S2000?
Ooh.
Ah. So
Okay. Repeat the question.
question is, selling an S2000, is it worth it to get an NDRF?
So I will be perfectly honest, I've never driven an S2000 in anger or more than across a parking lot. So I don't have a lot of seat time in an S2000 to judge it accurately. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to what you want in a car. I mean, if you want a very unique Honda that's got an awesome red line that handles amazing, if you know what you're doing, keep the S2000, especially if you like the looks. They do have some of the comfiest factory seats I have ever been in, by the way.
They are pretty awesome.
If you've never sat in an S2000, the seats are amazing. But you know, if you want something with more modern features that's a little more friendly out of the box, the ND you can't go wrong with. It's just friendly, it's easy to drive, it's peppy enough, it's fun without, you know, getting in too much trouble, and it's a fun car.
Personally,
Sorry.
I think that the ND, if you're not driving it in anger, is actually a more fun car to drive than the S2000. I think for normal everyday driving, I'd take the ND. The interiors are actually not too dissimilar. The S2000 does kind of have that like cockpit style interior, which is very nice and comfy, and the seats again are amazing. The seats in the NDs are pretty good.
They're not bad.
They're kind of a hammock style, so they're a little bit more casual rather than, you know, race. But otherwise, they're not that dissimilar interior wise, other than of course infotainment, you know, modern screens, that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're
I gotta listen to music when I drive, so having at least something wireless with decent speakers helps.
yeah, they're probably, even though they're what 20 years apart, they're not terribly different as
No.
far as the driving feel is concerned. I think actually.
Yeah, I mean, S2000s are great cars. I'm not gonna bash that at all.
Yeah. Do we have anything else? Are we covered? One more?
Is the Miata your favorite car of all the ones that you own currently or have owned?
Ooh,
Top 5?
good question.
Ooh.
Is this your favorite car of all time? Top 3, top 5? Where would you place it out of the cars that you've owned?
As far as just overall, because they each have their pros and cons.
Yeah, no, we're looking for top tier. What's your ranking? You gotta have podium. Come on.
So I would say I had a very, very, very modified 1992 MR2 Turbo. That was probably still my favorite car I've ever owned. And it had a built motor, a KO Racing T3 T4 turbo kit with a screamer pipe, no cats, giant apexy 3 3/4 exhaust, would set off car alarms. Every carbon fiber panel that I could get. I mean, hood, top, back, engine, trunk. I mean, interior carbon fiber. I had a full system with a video game system in it. Like I said, I used to take it to car shows. It had a border racing full body kit on it. This car had everything you could do to a car. So when it worked, that was my favorite car because it broke every time I drove it. Shame. I think this car's a close second because I don't have to worry about any of that. You know, I can just jump in the car and drive and go have fun and, you know, not have to worry about it. Put the top down, leave the top up, crank my tunes, you know, it's a fun car. Beyond that, it's probably a toss-up between my G35, because that was just a nice car. I mean, cushy, nice, looked good. So those are probably my top 3 that I own.
Fair enough. All right. Well, any last comments that have rolled in that we should answer that we haven't talked about? All good? Okay. Well, Travis, I want to say thank you so much. I know that this was a little bit of a stretch for you to actually be on this side of the camera lens. So
I'm gonna go hide in my office now.
I appreciate that you came out to talk to us and, you know, show us your car, because again, there are a lot of people that have probably seen a lot of what you do, but not necessarily who you are, and letting you have a chance to shine on camera, I think, is a good thing. So, thanks again for coming out and talking to us a little bit about your car and what you do here.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't embarrass you too bad. But I mean, at least I've got the
I'm
car
good.
to redeem me. So.
I think you did great. Well, hopefully you like this. Hopefully you learned a little bit something about our Travis Ingram and who he is and about his car. If you liked it, of course, give it a like, subscribe if you like this kind of content and you want to see more on the channel in the future. Well, of course, I love doing these interviews, so maybe we'll interview Logan next.
He's got a
We'll
Mazda
see.
speed.
He does. He does have a Mazda speed. It's gorgeous. Again, something with the marketing and, you know,
Pretty cars.
videography and all that kind of stuff. It's just the people who work in our department that they just have pretty cars. So maybe let us know if you want to see Logan in his car in the next one. Let us know. Drop us a comment down below. Of course, if you have ideas about other kinds of videos you'd like us to talk about, if you want to see more parts, if you want to see more us do theory or whatever, drop us comments down below. We love your suggestions. We thank you so much for watching and for interacting. The whole point is to hopefully share some experience and share some knowledge. So that's what we're after, and hopefully that works for you too. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week, same time, same channel. We appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Catch you next time.